Chapter 2891. Mom, don't mention it now, Shen Mingxi reminded his mother. As an elder, I want to say that it's not easy to get together, especially for couples. So, why don't you two? Before Mrs. Shen could finish, Wei Ying immediately said, Auntie, I just remembered that I'm meeting someone for morning tea. I'll come see Mingxi later. Take good care of him. Okay. Mrs. Shen looked puzzled as she watched Wei Ying leave in a hurry. But when Wei Ying ran away, she immediately blamed her son. Mingxi, you and Ying, Mom, I'm sleepy. I'm going to bed. Shen Mingxi lay down on the bed and covered his face with his hand. You're really... At the entrance of the Municipal Public Security Bureau, Gao Ran had just returned from a patrol with his subordinates in his police car. Gao Ran loved being a police officer and had a sense of mission. Even though he was the director of the Municipal Public Security Bureau, he still went out on patrol with his subordinates. It was to ensure the safety of Sea City. The moment the car stopped at the entrance of the Municipal Public Security Bureau, a group of people walked up and surrounded Gao Ran. Hello, Director Gao. I heard there's more to the death of the suspect, Shen Jiani. Is that true? Director Gao, according to the victim's daughter, this wasn't an ordinary traffic accident. Someone deliberately killed her, and the Municipal Public Security Bureau covered it up because of your special relationship. You even detained the suspect's body and didn't let her family see it. Is that true? Gao Ran's face darkened. Director Gao, someone on the forum pointed out that Mr. Qin of GK is the mastermind behind this accident. As Mr. Qin's best friend, are you also involved? Director Gao, Hui Yanyan wants to sue the Municipal Public Security Bureau for overturning her mother's case. What do you think? As the son of a government official, your father has always been impartial. Are you the same? Gao Ran was tired after his patrol and planned to go home after taking a shower and changing his clothes. But to his surprise, he was asked some strange questions by a group of reporters. Wait. What do you mean by looking for me? I don't know why you're here. Gao Ran felt a headache coming on. Director Gao, since you're pretending to be confused, I'll speak for you. Not far away, a woman walked out from the back of the crowd. Who else could it be but Hui Yanyan? She was wearing a long red dress and heavy makeup. She looked extremely seductive. She walked up to Gao Ran and said with a smile, "Here's what happened. Because of the kidnapping case, Qin Chu hates my mother and is worried that the law will give him a light sentence. After all, my mother was an accomplice to the crime, and the main culprit is already dead. Therefore, the rich and powerful President Qin hired someone to deliberately run down my mother with a car and kill her. The police were afraid that I would find any clues, so they took the body away and performed an autopsy without my permission. They kept her in the Municipal Public Security Bureau, so I can't help but suspect that there's some kind of secret between you and Qin Chu. They must have done something to my mother's case. As an ordinary citizen, I have no way to redress my grievances, so today, I can only rely on the power of the media. I want everyone to see what kind of people we taxpayers are supporting. They are public servants, but they don't work for the people and collude with government officials and businessmen. Director Gao, since you've helped Qin Chu so much, he should at least give you a Ferrari this time, right?" After hearing this, Gao Ran's face turned green with anger. Chapter 2892. Hui Yanyan, what nonsense are you talking about? Gao Ran didn't expect Hui Yanyan to slander him. You know best whether I'm talking nonsense or not, Chief Gao. You can't do whatever you want just because you're the chief. How am I doing whatever I want? People have to be responsible for their own words. You're slandering me, don't you know that? You're insulting the police. Gao Ran was furious. Later, he brought Shinjiani's body to the Municipal Public Security Bureau to investigate the cause of death. He didn't want Hui Yanyan to see it. Not only did she want to see it, but she also wanted to take it away and cause trouble at South Side. He was already being nice by not detaining her. Now, this woman was trying to turn the tables on him. Gao Ran was about to go crazy. "Chief Gao, tell us, what's going on?" Some media outlets who were following the trend immediately came up. "What's there to say? What's there to say? This woman isn't telling the truth." After Gao Ran finished speaking, he turned around and left angrily. His subordinates behind him surrounded those people. That night, when Gao Ran came home, he talked about it with Zhu Lingling during dinner. Gao Buiyuan heard it and told Little Bean about it during the video call. The conversation between the two kids was hilarious and dramatic. "Gao Buiyuan, Little Bean, something big happened." "Little Bean, what happened? Tell me." "Gao Buiyuan, my dad was wrong today. He was blocked by reporters at the door." "Little Bean, what? Did your dad cheat on you?" Gao Buiyuan, what are you thinking? Why would my dad cheat on you? My mom is so fierce. If my dad cheated on her, she would kill him." Little Bean, ha ha ha, you're right. Gao Buiyuan, don't laugh. I'm talking business. Little Bean, okay, go ahead. Gao Buiyuan, I think this time, my dad was implicated by your dad. Little Bean, damn, why are you dragging my daddy into this? My daddy won't take the blame. Gao Buiyuan, no, listen to me. This time, it's that crazy woman. She killed my mother and claimed that my father and your father worked together to kill her. After all, Gao Buiyuan was still young, and his logical thinking was not as strong as the twins. He only vaguely knew the ins and outs of the whole thing. Little Bean, you mean Hui Yanyan? Gao Buiyuan, yes, that's her. She hired the media to frame my dad. She's a bad woman. When my dad came home at night, he kept talking about it with my mom. Little Bean, that's true. My daddy was afraid that she would harass my mommy, so he gave my mommy a day off. Gao Buiyuan, see. Even a powerful woman like Auntie Huamin is afraid of her. What about my dad? Little Bean, you're wrong. My mommy isn't afraid of her. She's just an unreasonable person. I don't know what she'll do. My mommy is pregnant with her second child. My daddy is worried that she'll be hurt. What do you know? Little Bean didn't forget to roll her eyes at Gao Buiyuan. Gao Buiyuan, what I mean is, this time, it's your daddy who caused this. My dad was implicated. Little Bean, they're buddies. They'll go through thick and thin together. Gao Buiyuan, no, that was in the past. It's not like this now. I think I should ask for some compensation. Little Bean, damn it. Gao Buiyuan, do you want to die? You're asking for compensation. Little Bean's attitude changed. She wanted to rush over and punch Gao Buiyuan. Little Bean watched on the side with great interest. Their conversation today was like a Hollywood blockbuster. Gao Buiyuan, hee hee. Since Uncle Chin hurt my dad, I've decided, what do you want? Let me hear it. Little Bean pretended to be calm. Then, she thought of a line to scold Gao Buiyuan. Chapter 2893. Gao Buiyuan, I think you can compensate me by going to the amusement park with me this week, okay? Little Bean, that's all. Gao Buiyuan, can you treat me to an ice cream? I want the one your auntie made. Your auntie is really good at making desserts. Little Bean, anything else? Gao Buiyuan, of course. If it's possible, can you accompany me for the whole day this weekend? It's rare that I don't have to learn Taekwondo, piano, calligraphy, or literature. I don't have to greet Grandpa and Grandma either. They went back to their hometown to visit their relatives. I'm free all day this week. Little Bean, so you only want me to accompany you for one day? Gao Buiyuan, yes. Little Bean, Gao Buiyuan, look at what you've done. Little Bean glanced at him in disdain. Gao Buiyuan, at this moment, Pudding walked over and glanced at Gao Buiyuan on the other side of the phone. Boring. I thought you would blackmail Little Bean for a lot of money, Pudding said. Gao Buiyuan, I don't dare. Little Bean will beat me into a pulp. Little Bean giggled. Gao Buiyuan, you know me well. Don't mention money to me. It hurts our relationship. Gao Buiyuan, but every time you come to my house, you take away the toys I spend a lot of money on. You're so rich. Why don't you buy them yourself? Little Bean, didn't I tell you? These are betrothal gifts. From now on, you have to give me some toys every year until I'm 25. Then I'll marry you. Gao Buiyuan, Pudding, Buiyuan, I suggest you find someone else. You're wasting a lot of money. The money you spent on toys is enough to buy dozens of wives from Vietnam. Why do you want her? Little Bean, go away. Qin Zhao Zhao, don't mess with me. Gao Buiyuan, don't fight. Listen to me. Have you decided on the date this weekend? Little Bean, sure. I'll ask my driver to take me there. Gao Buiyuan, really? Great. Little Bean, sis, you don't have to go. You'll be a third wheel. Pudding, don't worry. I won't go even if you invite me. Amusement parks are only for 3-year-olds. Little Bean, I'm a 3-year-old. Pudding, no. You're 3.5. Little Bean, Gao Buiyuan was speechless. Little Bean, Buiyuan, I have a condition. Gao Buiyuan, what conditions? Little Bean, that Peter Pan suit of yours. Gao Buiyuan, no. Little Bean, you're not loyal enough. Gao Buiyuan, it's a limited edition. My grandpa got someone to buy it from a faraway place. I only have one set. Little Bean, Buiyuan, you don't love me. Gao Buiyuan was speechless. Little Bean, so you're this kind of person. You don't even want to give up your toys. You won't treat me well in the future. I'll go play with Lele, the guy I met at dinner last time. Gao Buiyuan, no, 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 don't go. Little Bean, why not? You don't really love me. You don't even want to give me Batman. Gao Buiyuan, it's not that I can't bear to part with her, it's just, Little Bean, I just can't bear to. Gao Buiyuan, why don't we split it? I have 10. I'll give you 5 and keep 5 for myself. Let's play together. Little Bean, no, my daddy always gives in to my mommy at home. She's the true love. If you really care about me, how about this? I'll have 8 and you'll have 2. Gao Buiyuan, Little Bean, what do you think? Gao Buiyuan, Little Bean. 2 isn't enough. Little Bean, bye. Gao Buiyuan, no, no, no. Let's talk about it. Pudding was not far away from them with her cell phone, secretly recording their conversation. She secretly asked Suyu, handsome Su, did you see Miss Chin Mumu's real face? She's a capitalist. Ha. Chapter 2894. The daughter of a capitalist is, of course, a little capitalist. Suyu said with a smile. To his surprise, Pudding's face fell. Handsome Su, what about you and SCI? I'm not talking about you. Why aren't you talking about me? I'm also the daughter of a capitalist. Pudding said proudly. Look, you're being picky again. I'm talking about Little Bean. Awesome. Do you dare to say it again in front of her? Pudding was serious. Wouldn't that be suicide? Suyu didn't dare to say it in front of Pudding. In Suyu's heart, the twins were like little ancestors. Don't joke around. I haven't lived long enough yet. Suyu chuckled. What's the situation over there? What? Pudding was confused. Little Bean or Gao Buiyuan? Who won? Suyu asked in annoyance. Do you even need to ask? With Qin Mumu's scheming personality, she'll eat Gao Buiyuan without spitting out his bones. Don't call her Little Bean from now on. Call her White Bone Demon, Suyu said. Who? Handsome Su, who are you talking about? Little Bean appeared beside Pudding out of nowhere. Scared, Suyu immediately explained, I mean, Little Bean, you're so pretty. Even the White Bone Demon can't compare to you. If you want to talk like this, everyone will be happy. Little Bean smiled in satisfaction. Gao Buiyuan won the invasion. Suyu asked. Yeah. Little Bean was full of superiority. But I heard that it was Gao Buiyuan who blackmailed you first. Your daddy implicated his daddy. How come you blackmailed him instead? Hee hee. It just means that he's too young. Little Bean smiled slyly. All businessmen are evil, Little Bean. If Uncle Su doesn't get married and have kids, you'll be in charge of Imperial Star. I think you'll monopolize the national market soon. Do you want to make a will or something? Just in case you regret it in the future, Little Bean said while eating French fries. Wow. How cruel. Suyu deliberately teased her. Handsome Su, you gave her Imperial Star. What about me? Pudding pouted. Pudding rarely acted like a spoiled child, but Suyu was an exception. Perhaps it was because when they were very young, Suyu had been by their side taking care of them since they were sensible. He was like a biological father to them. That was why Pudding was a little childish in front of Suyu. It wasn't intentional, but it was natural. Because of this, Mr. Qin had been jealous many times. Then, he would shout that this time, Bao would never leave again and would stay with him until the end. Otherwise, in the future, the child might not even be close to Suyu. Don't you have GK? Suyu smiled. That's different. GK is daddy's, and Imperial Star is yours. You gave Little Bean such a big gift, but what about me? I don't have anything. Pudding looked at Suyu pitifully. The look in her eyes almost melted Suyu's heart. Sometimes, Suyu greedily wished that the twins were his daughters. That's easy. Uncle Su has a lot of cash, jewelry, luxury goods, mansions, and my Lamborghini Sixth Element. I'll give them all to you. Really? Pudding finally smiled. Yeah. If Uncle Su really can't get married in this lifetime and is an old bachelor, then I'll give you and your sister everything. But you two have to take care of me until I'm old. Don't let me sleep on the streets. Suyu smiled. Wrong. We won't let you sleep on the streets. We'll send you to a nursing home. Little Bean giggled. A nursing home. Suyu was speechless. A nursing home is great. Then you can flirt with the old ladies as much as you want. After Little Bean said this, Suyu and Pudding both spat out. After saying that, Tang Chuan stepped on the accelerator and turned the car around, heading towards the Hong Kong tea restaurant. Then, he brought back the shrimp dumplings, shredded chicken noodle soup, and pineapple buns. The two of them came to visit the patient in such a dashing manner. The bodyguards outside the ward were about to doze off. When they saw the two figures approaching, they immediately became alert. After seeing who it was, they heaved a sigh of relief. "Lord Su, Master Tang. Is your young master asleep?" Su Yu asked. "Not yet. Young master hasn't been sleeping well recently. He sleeps very late every day." "Okay, let's go in and take a look." After saying that, Su Yu pushed the door open and entered without knocking. Shen Mingxi turned around and was surprised to see the two of them. "Why are you two here?" He showed a rare smile. Chapter 2899. "I haven't come to see you since you woke up." Tang Chuan was telling the truth. Su Yu, on the other hand, casually placed the bags on the table. "I brought you shrimp dumplings and pineapple buns from Su Fu Ji. Have some if you're hungry. You know me well and remember my favorite things." Shen Mingxi chuckled. "Other than your poor taste in women, there's nothing wrong with you," Su Yu said directly. "Ha! Young Master Shen is heartbroken by your words." "Lord Su, you're telling the truth." Tang Chuan gloated. Shen Mingxi lowered his head in embarrassment. Then, he picked up the supper Su Yu brought and ate slowly. "I heard Wei Ying comes to see you every day." Su Yu gossiped. "Ahem." Shen Mingxi almost choked. "What's going on between you two? Are you getting back together?" "No. I think Ying has changed a lot. We're more like friends who've been friends for years," Shen Mingxi said. That's good. I was just saying that Wei Liao wouldn't agree to you guys getting back together. You know his temper. You guys fought so fiercely back then, and now you're like this." Su Yu commented. Shen Mingxi didn't say anything, but a hint of disappointment flashed across his eyes. "I told you it's impossible. Lord Su, you didn't believe me. Wei Ying has a boyfriend." Tang Chuan hopped onto Shen Mingxi's table, picked up an apple, and took a bite out of it as he spoke casually. "She has a boyfriend. Don't bullshit me. How come I don't know about it?" Su Yu scolded Tang Chuan. "You only have eyes for my sister-in-law and my nieces. Why would you care about gossip?" Tang Chuan mocked him on purpose. "Scram, a few days ago, when I was hanging out with Sun Kai and the others, I accidentally heard about the young master of the Yi group." "What's his name again?" "Oh, right, Yi Xiaoyang. He seems to be chasing after Wei Ying. I've seen him twice. He's handsome and smart, different from his scumbag brothers. If he can win Wei Ying's heart, he can marry into the Wei family and become the president of the Yi group." As Tang Chuan talked, Su Yu and Shen Mingxi listened quietly. "I don't think so. Old Wei said that when Wei Ying gets married in the future, she'll marry a commoner. She won't get married to a business partner. The Wei family isn't short of money," Su Yu refuted. "It's hard to say. Maybe they have feelings for each other." "Didn't Wei Ying talk about her relationship with Yi Xiaoyang?" Tang Chuan asked. Shen Mingxi shook his head. "Oh. She's probably too shy to talk about it." "Where did you hear that? Is it reliable?" Su Yu looked at Tang Chuan in disbelief. "It's definitely reliable. I heard that Wei Ying is going to participate in wilderness survival training in a few days. Yi Xiaoyang is going as well. He's going all out to pursue Wei Ying. As a single man and woman, if they go out into the wilderness, they'll be together. Ha ha ha. What's done can't be undone." Tang Chuan laughed. Su Yu didn't find it strange, but Shen Mingxi lowered his head to eat. His mood was a mess, but Wei Ying has changed a lot in the past few years. "I thought she'd be demonized after the divorce," Su Yu commented. No, she was demonized before. Ha! After being provoked by Mr. Shin, she turned from a good girl to a good girl, Tang Chuan joked. But Shin Mingshi didn't say a word. His expression was unnatural. Mr. Shin, you've been in the hospital for so long. Didn't your beloved Hui Yan come to see you? Tang Chuan asked deliberately. Why would you be envious of me? I'm still single. I'm envious of the woman you like. She's worth liking. Shin Mingshi smiled bitterly. Hey, don't think too much about it. You're just a bad judge of character. If you find out in the future, stay away from Hui Yan. That woman is indeed a mad dog who bites anyone she catches. I have a feeling that she's about to reach the end of her life. Really, I'm not cursing her. I just think that she won't have a good ending if she does this, Siyu said frankly. Shin Mingshi frowned slightly, his mind heavy. Even if he didn't love Hui Yan, he definitely didn't hate her. So, if something happened to Hui Yan, he would still be sad. This was an undeniable fact. Midnight, in a remote suburb, Hui Yan parked her car on the side of the road. Where's the thing I want? Did you bring it? Hui Yan asked a man whose face she couldn't see clearly. Chapter 2904. Hua Min, who was pregnant, rarely left the house. This time, she brought along 2 bodyguards personally selected by Qin Chu, just in case. The driver drove the RV while Hua Min and the bodyguards sat in the back. Along the way, she was thinking about a problem. Pudding was right. It was really risky for him to come out. Pudding was right. Not only was Zhang Manlin coming up with all sorts of evil ideas, but Hui Yan had also been crazy recently. She was always doing crazy things. Plus, Hui Xiqian's wedding was over, but there was still no news. All signs pointed to the fact that she was in danger. Coming out after dark wasn't a wise choice. But she was a doctor. If she hid at home like a coward for the rest of her life because of fear, would she still be the same Hua Min? Would she still be the girl who was called arrogant by all her classmates when she was in high school? People didn't live for others, they lived for themselves. She knew that if this was exposed by the media, there would be a lot of self-proclaimed righteous people who would call her a saint and a white lotus. But it didn't matter. After all, not everyone was like her and had her own way of thinking. There was a saying that was very true. If you could be understood and supported by everyone, then you would be an ordinary person. After all, in this world, geniuses were few and far between. Most people were just ordinary people. The fact that you wanted ordinary people to understand geniuses was a joke in itself. Thinking of this, Hua Min smiled. Then, she picked up a bottle of mineral water and took a sip. In fact, Hua Min's existence itself was the biggest controversy. But after all these years, she had always held on to him. Whether you like me or not, it doesn't change anything. I'm a doctor, not an entertainment star. I don't need millions of fans. I don't need people to praise me. I don't need people to praise me all the time. My lifelong wish is to be a qualified doctor, and then live a safe and happy life with my husband and daughter. However, she was worried that Qin Chu would miss her when he came back and found out that she had gone out. At that thought, Hua Min took out his phone and called Mr. Qin. Hubby, honey, what's wrong? There's a patient in the hospital who needs heart surgery. The difficulty of the surgery is a little complicated. I have to go there. Where are you now? Qin Chu asked in a low voice. He's on his way. Qin Chu didn't say anything. Hubby, don't be angry. I brought bodyguards out, and I didn't drive my own car. The driver drove. Wait for me at the entrance of the viaduct. I'll drive over to find you. Chin Chu said. Honey, I won't stop you from performing the surgery. I just want to be with you. Chin Chu knew Huamin's temper very well. If he took Huamin home because he was worried and the patient died, Huamin would be sad for a long time. Chapter 2905. What's going on? Honey, are you okay? Huamin was scared to death, thinking that something had happened to Chin Chu. No, honey, listen to me carefully. Chin Chu's tone suddenly became very heavy. Go on, I'm listening. I'm stuck in traffic really bad. I don't know if it's a coincidence or if someone did it on purpose. You haven't been out for so long, and you suddenly received a call from the hospital today. Could it be a trap? Huamin was silent after hearing this. Honey, did you hear that? Chin Chu repeated. I heard it. Actually, I've thought about it. Could it be someone's trick? Whether it's Hua Xichen, Hua Yanyan, or Zhang Manlin. But if I don't come because I'm afraid it's a trap, and the patient dies because of it, I'll feel bad. Chin Chu was silent. Hubby, do you also think that I'm a saint? No, I've never thought of you that way. That's good. As long as you don't think I'm pretending to be a good guy, I don't care what other people think of me. I might not be able to go over for now, and you're in a hurry. How about this, Mian? Promise me that you'll be careful. Take care of yourself and the baby in your belly. Okay, I'll be very, very careful. Huamin nodded, feeling a surge of warmth in his heart. Mr. Chin didn't argue with her at a time like this and asked her to go home. It was obvious that he knew her very well. After hanging up, Chin Chu looked at the traffic jam in front of him. He immediately opened the car door and got out. Just then, he saw a traffic policeman on a motorcycle pass by. He reached out his hand and stopped him. Can I borrow your motorcycle? I'm Chin Chu. Then, without waiting for the traffic policeman to respond, Chin Chu got on the motorcycle and sped away, weaving through the traffic. The traffic policeman looked at the black Bentley that Chin Chu left behind, dumbfounded, speechless for a long time. Southside Recuperation Center. When Huamin walked in, he didn't go straight to his office. He was in a hurry to read the documents and change his clothes. Instead, he went straight to the reception desk and asked about the condition of the heart patient. After confirming that it was true, she was slightly relieved. Where is the patient now? In the operating theater on the 5th floor. Everyone is waiting for you, Deputy Director. Who called me just now? Huamin asked the nurses on duty. It's me, Deputy Director. A young nurse raised her hand. That's normal. You shouldn't be the one to call me. Who told you to call me? Huamian asked her warily. Assistant Chen Jia usually calls you, but she's off today and didn't come. This is an emergency, and no one can make a decision, so I was wondering if I should ask for your opinion. Huamin carefully analyzed the nurse's words to see if there were any loopholes. Do you still have the information? In your office, the nurse replied. Do you have a backup? Huamin asked. Yes, there are more in the operating theater, the nurse replied. Good, then I'll go straight to the operating theater. Then, Huamin put on his white coat and walked upstairs. The nurse's eyes dimmed slightly. She muttered, she's so smart and so defensive. Yes, the perfect plan was just short of asking Huamin to go back to his office, but she didn't. Instead, she changed her clothes and went straight to the operating theater where there were many people. Therefore, the nurse panicked and sent a WeChat message to Hui Yanyan. Sis, there's a change of plans. She's so smart. She didn't go back to the office to get the information and went straight to the operating theater. What should we do? After that, Huamin changed into a disinfectant suit and entered the operating theater. A few assistants followed him in. Huiyanyan's nurse took advantage of the fact that no one was paying attention to her. She avoided the surveillance cameras and stole the small black jar from Huamin's office. Then, she carried it all the way to the changing room next to the operating theater. There was only one nurse guarding the changing room. That nurse was playing with her phone and texting her boyfriend on WeChat. "I'm here to see the deputy director," Huiyanyan's subordinate said. "The deputy director is already in the operating theater." "You can wait for her to finish," the nurse said perfunctorily. "Then I'll wait for her here." "Oh right, if you want to drink water or go to the bathroom, you can go. I'll watch over you for a while." "Okay, I was just about to go to the bathroom. You can keep an eye on me. If there's anything I need, let me know." With that, the nurse got up and left. Huiyanyan's subordinate quietly opened the black jar. Then, wearing a pair of rubber gloves, she put something into Huamin's jacket pocket. "I'm sorry, Deputy Director. Someone wants you dead." "I can't do anything about it," the nurse muttered in a low voice. Chapter 2907. Perhaps the nurse was scared, so she left without waiting for the other nurse to come back. She left in a hurry. Huamin was wearing a black cashmere coat. It was windy at night and she was pregnant, so she often felt cold. That was why she wore this coat. There were 2 deep pockets on both sides of the coat. Huamin would put small items like keys in the pockets when she forgot to take her bag. She just didn't expect that it could be used by others. After the nurse was done, she sent Huiyanyan a WeChat message. "Sis, it's done. It's in her pocket. When she comes out of the surgery, she'll change her clothes. When she feels her body temperature, she'll do something." "Okay, I got it." "Sis, the rest of the money," Huiyanyan didn't reply. Instead, she transferred 30,000 yuan to the nurse. "Thank you, sis." After the nurse received the money, she immediately changed her clothes and left the hospital. She knew that she would be suspected after news of Huamin's accident spread. On the other hand, Huiyanyan went upstairs to get her luggage after receiving the news. Tian, let's go." She grabbed her daughter's hand. "Mommy, it's dark. Where are we going?" "Mommy will take you on a trip." "Shouldn't we tell Uncle Shin? He'll be worried about us, right?" the little girl asked innocently. Hearing the words, Uncle Shin, Huiyanyan paused and said, "No need to tell him. He won't worry about us." At the same time, inside the Hua mansion, Audiobook, "Did you see it clearly?" "Yes." "Do you know what to do?" "Yes." "I'll go and get her." "Okay. Go." "What about the hospital? If Miss Hua comes out and gets bitten by that thing?" Audiobook stuttered. "Don't worry. I'll send someone to take care of it. You just do your job." "Okay, boss." After Audiobook received Huasiqian's order, he took people to the airport. Because there were people around him, he didn't have time to inform Qin Chu. Audiobook sent an anonymous message to Qin Chu with an app. "Quick, save Huamin. There's poison in his clothes." When Qin Chu received the news, he happened to be riding a traffic police motorcycle all the way to South Side. After reading the message, his face darkened slightly. Then, he rushed to the operating theater on the 5th floor without hesitation. Just as he passed through the operating theater in the corridor, he was opposite a hospital worker, tall and burly and male. She was wearing the uniform of Southside Recuperation Center and was carrying a bag in her hand. After walking over, Chin-Chu didn't forget to look back at that person. Somehow, he felt that something was off. When they arrived at the waiting room outside the operating theater, Chin-Chu knocked on the door. The young nurse immediately stood up. "I'm looking for Hwa-min. I'm her husband." Chin-Chu only said one sentence, and the nurse's eyes immediately lit up. "President. President Chin, you're here to welcome our vice president personally. Where is she?" Chin-Chu had to be extremely focused, so he was a bit tired. After getting off the operating table, everyone let out a sigh of relief. "Deputy Director, the patient's vitals are normal. The surgery was a success." The assistant nurse's voice was a little excited. "Okay, send him to the ICU. Thank you for your hard work." Hwa-min smiled. "Not at all. Deputy Director, thank you for your hard work. Your husband worked even harder." The nurses smiled enviously. "Deputy Director, your husband's medical skills are amazing." The chief surgeon praised Chin-Chu. It was his first time seeing him perform surgery. "My husband. Studying medicine is just a hobby." Don't praise him too much," Hwa-min said modestly. Chin-Chu put his arm around Hwa-min's shoulder and walked out of the operating room to the changing room. Where are my clothes?" Hwa-min opened the wardrobe and was slightly surprised. "I burned them," he said. "What?" Hwa-min thought she heard wrong and asked Mr. Chin again. Chapter 2909. "I burned it." Mr. Chin repeated patiently. "Why did you burn it? If you don't like it, just tell me. I'll get another one. I can give this one to my mom. I'll talk to you when we get out." Chin-Chu didn't want people to talk, so he didn't say much. He took out his jacket and wrapped it around Hwa-min. Then, he put his arm around her shoulders and left the hospital. The vice director's husband loves her so much. Yeah, he cares about her so much, but now he even wants to help with the surgery. Oh my God, I'm so jealous. The nurses gossiped after Hwa-min and Chin-Chu left. "Honey, where's your car?" Hwa-min looked around but didn't see Chin-Chu's car. "I left it downtown. Let's take the family car." Then, Chin-Chu held Hwa-min's hand and got into the RV. "Can you tell me what happened now? Why are you burning the clothes all of a sudden?" "Mian, someone did something to your clothes." By who?" Hwa-min froze. "I'm not sure yet. I don't know if it was Hwa Si-chen's men. I'm still investigating." "What did they do?" "You finally burned my clothes. Someone must have poisoned it. I was wearing this when I left home." "How could someone have poisoned it?" "Wait, could it be the nurse on duty in the changing room?" Hwa-min realized. "I don't think so. If it was her, she wouldn't have waited there to be investigated," Chin-Chu recalled. "You're right. But where did you get this information?" "I thought it wasn't safe for you to come to the hospital alone. I was afraid it was a trap, so I came to take a look. When I arrived, I received a message from Ah Ching. He was very concise, so I didn't have time to ask. So that's how it is. Looks like. I almost fell for it again." Hwa-min leaned his head on Chin-Chu's shoulder with lingering fear. "It's fine. Don't worry, I'm here. Honey, am I a coward? You always have to protect me." Hwa-min felt a little guilty. "No, my wife is very powerful. Didn't she take the blame for murder for me before?" Chin-Chu laughed. "Pfft, not again. Huamin rolled his eyes. Don't always think that you're useless and give me trouble. You're a human, not a god. If you're not afraid of anything and can solve any problem by yourself, then what's the use of me as your husband? Am I just for show? Mr. Qin rarely said so many words at once. Huamin was pleasantly surprised. No, you're going to give birth to babies. Huamin teased. Qin Chu was speechless. Ha ha ha. Don't look at me with such a straight face. It's so awkward. On the way back, the couple flirted with each other. Although it was a close call, the good thing was that Huamin was fine. On the other side of the road to the airport, before Hui Yinyan's taxi could get onto the highway, it was forced to stop by a few black commercial cars. Then, a dozen men in black got out of the cars and smashed Hui Yinyan's taxi. The taxi driver was so scared that he almost fainted. It seems like you're trying to get justice for Huamin today. You're the best spare tire in China. Even her husband isn't as active as you. Hua Xiqian, don't you think you're cheap? Hui Yinyan's words were filled with sarcasm and insult. As soon as she finished speaking, Qing slapped Hui Yinyan again. The corner of Hui Yinyan's mouth split open, and blood slowly trickled out. The other man immediately brought out a small black jar. The moment they saw the black jar, Hui Yinyan's expression changed drastically. The nurse was even more terrified. Why are you guys looking like that? You guys should be happy. After all, you guys chose this and it passed through your hands. Hua Xiqian smiled. No. I beg you, let me go. No, the nurse seemed to know what she was about to face. She was so scared that her face turned pale as she begged for mercy. Hui Yinyan's face was even paler. She didn't know what other crazy things Hua Xiqian would do. Chapter 29:12. Didn't your big sister Yan Yan tell you what's inside? Hua Xiqian pointed at the black jar and asked the nurse. No, she didn't say, the nurse stuttered, scared out of her wits. Oh, that's okay, I'll open your eyes. Then, Hua Xiqian carefully opened the black jar and took the tweezers from his subordinate. He reached his hand into the jar and took out a black furry object. Everyone in the room gasped when they saw what it was. It was a black spider the size of a quail egg. Its entire body was black, and upon closer inspection, there were tiny gray dots all over its body. Just looking at it was enough to make one's hair stand on end. TSK. Mutant Black Widow, not bad, where did you find this? Hua Xiqian held the black spider and approached Hui Yanyan. Then, when Hua Xiqian held the spider, its claws were still moving around, making everyone dizzy. Hui Yanyan felt all the hair on her body stand on end. You really want to kill my little sister, you're so evil. Compared to your mother, you're even better, Hua Xiqian exclaimed. Cut the crap, since you caught me, I didn't think I'd get out of here alive. Hui Yanyan knew that Hua Xiqian wouldn't let her go, especially after he found out about her perverted love for Huamin. Now that her plan was exposed, Hua Xiqian definitely wouldn't let her go. Don't worry, the night is still young, we have to play slowly. Then, Hua Xiqian turned around and walked up to the nurse. You and this thing are fated. Come, have a taste. Then, Hua Xiqian released the tweezers, and the spider immediately crawled into the nurse's collar. Ah! Help! Help! The nurse immediately screamed at the top of her lungs. She didn't know if it was because of fear, psychological fear, or because of the pain after being bitten by the spider. That shrill cry shook everyone in the room. Other than Hua Xiqian, everyone was afraid. 1 minute later, the nurse collapsed to the ground, foaming at the mouth. Her face had turned purple. The black widow venomous spider had probably bitten enough. It lazily crawled out of the nurse's clothes. Hua Xiqian's subordinates were so frightened that they quickly retreated, afraid that they would be bitten. The young nurse convulsed for about 3 minutes. In the end, her legs gave way and she stopped breathing. Hua Xiqian raised his wrist and looked at his watch. He smiled and said, "Not bad. You hung up in 3 minutes. It seems that your watch is a treasure." At this moment, the black spider crawled towards Hua Xiqian's feet. "Boss, be careful," Qing reminded. Hua Xiqian didn't even look. He pulled out a black handgun from behind his waist and shot at the black spider. With a loud bang, everyone was so scared that they couldn't help but tremble. They looked at the black spider and saw that it was already motionless. It was almost shot into pieces. Chapter 29:16. Qing aimed his gun at Tian. Then, there was a loud bang. The little girl fell to the ground. Not far away, Hua Xiqian's other henchman watched from afar and then turned to leave. Seeing the figure walk away, Qing helped the child up from the ground. "Run along this road by the sea and don't look back. When you reach a place with light, remember to ask the police to take you to Huamin. No, you can't go to him. Our boss has been watching Miss Hua too closely. You should go to Shenmingxi. He's still in the first hospital. Give this to him and don't forget it." "Okay." Tian nodded obediently. "Hurry up, I have to go too." Qing patted the child's shoulder. To his surprise, Tian knelt on the ground and kowtowed 3 times to Qing. "Thank you, uncle. You're a good person." "I'm not a good person. I've done a lot of terrible things." Qing was a little sad. "No, you are a good person. When I was listening to the teacher telling us about Snow White, he said that Snow White's stepmother didn't like her because she was prettier than her stepmother, so she sent a hunter to kill her. However, the hunter couldn't bear to do so he killed a deer and went back to report on his mission. He let Snow White go, and later met the dwarf. I am not Snow White, but Uncle also let me go. Uncle is a very kind hunter." The words of a child were always the simplest and most innocent. Qing felt very sad when he heard this. "Okay, stop talking. Hurry up and go. Remember to find the police and then Shenmingxi." Qing reminded her repeatedly, afraid that Tian would go the wrong way and meet the wrong person. After all, the child was too young to protect herself. "Okay, I'll go find Uncle Shen. He's at the first hospital." Then, Tian turned and ran. Qing couldn't bear to see her like this. Before he shot, he told Tian to fall to the ground. From afar, it looked like she was really shot to death. After all, Hua Xiqian had a lot of people working for him. If he wasn't careful, things could go wrong. Because Tian was young, she ran very slowly. Before she could find Shenmingxi, Hui Yanyan's incident broke out. In the entire city, it was pretty bad. When Qin Chu's informant reported, Gao Ran also called. "Chu, what's going on with Hui Yanyan?" "I'm not sure either. But now everyone is saying that you did it. She kept calling your name. Now the internet is saying that you and I worked together to take revenge on her." Gao Ran was also in a terrible state. "It's probably this woman's scheme again." Qin Chu was exceptionally calm. "I've brought Hui Yanyan to the Municipal Public Security Bureau. I'll only know the details when the results are out. Gao Ran said. Do you need me to go? Qin Chu asked. There's no need for that. You're in the eye of the storm now. You can't come to the Municipal Public Security Bureau. You'll be caught red-handed and even worse. All right. Previously, when Hui Yanyan was attacked by the poisonous spider, although Huamin wasn't hurt in the end, she was still scared when she thought about it. What should we do, honey? I feel like we're in a passive position. Huamin couldn't sit still anymore. On one side was Hui Yanyan, and on the other side was Hui Xiqian. Were the two mortal enemies working together now? I'm here. It'll be fine. You go and help Pudding and Little Bean change first. I'll go out and meet Qing. Then, Qin Chu got up and left the house while talking to Gao Ran on the phone. Inside the first hospital, Shen Mingxi's body had almost recovered and he could walk on his own. After Hui Yanyan's video was released, he was restless and couldn't get through to Hui Yanyan's phone. Just then, the door opened. Young master, there's a child outside who wants to see you. She says her name is Tian Tian, the bodyguard said. Quick, bring her in. Shen Mingxi was even more excited when he heard it was Tian Tian. Chapter 29:18. When Tian Tian came in, her white floral dress was stained with dirt and her face was dirty. She looked like a mess. Seeing Shen Mingxi, Tian Tian threw herself at him and hugged his leg. Uncle Shen. Boo-hoo, Tian Tian, don't cry. Tell me why you're here. Where's your mom? Shen Mingxi knew the kid couldn't have come alone at this late hour. Something must have happened. Uncle Shen, please save my mom. She's about to be killed by the bad guys. The kid was so anxious that she cried as she spoke. Don't cry yet, baby. Take your time. Shen Mingxi scooped Tian Tian up and sat her down on the bed. He wet the towel on the side and wiped the child's face slowly. Are you hungry? Shen Mingxi knew the kid must have been scared out of her wits. I'm not hungry. Then drink some water first. Shen Mingxi poured a glass of warm water for the kid. Tian Tian was really thirsty and drank it all in one gulp. Do you want more? Shen Mingxi asked gently. Give me a little more, Uncle Shen, Tian Tian said timidly. Shen Mingxi poured a little more water for the kid. Then, afraid she would choke, he gently patted her back. After drinking the water, Tiantian's expression softened. By the way, Uncle Shen, this is for you. The kid came back to her senses and didn't forget what Qing had given her. What's this? I don't know. The kid shook her head. Who gave it to you? Shen Mingxi asked. It's the big bad guy's accomplice. But he's not a bad guy. He's a good guy. The big bad guy told him to throw me into the sea and he let me go. Tian Tian said intermittently. Shen Mingxi was also puzzled by her words. Okay, I'll take a look first. Shen Mingxi took a small object and looked at it. It was a mini recording device. He pressed the start button and a man's voice came out. It was very simple. Hui Xiqian wants to deal with Qin Chu, so he used Hui Yanyan to frame Qin Chu. Hui wanted me to kill the child, but I didn't have the heart to do so. You should hide the child. If she's still alive, I'll be in trouble. It was just a few sentences, but they were very clear. Shen Mingxi immediately understood what he meant. Uncle Shen, Mommy and I were caught by a bad guy. Our hands and feet were tied and our mouths were sealed. That bad guy gave Mommy medicine and wanted to kill Tian Tian. Tian Tian is very scared. Tian Tian hopes that Uncle Shen can save Mommy. Tiantian's chubby little hand tugged at Shen Mingxi's sleeve. Shen Mingxi's heart ached when he heard her pleading in a low voice. Although he swore that he would no longer interfere in Hu Yanyan's matters, he still couldn't bear to see the mother and daughter suffer like this. Okay, Uncle will definitely help you save your mother. Don't worry, Tian. Yes, I know that Uncle Shen treats us the best. The little girl finally showed a smile. Shen Mingxi then ordered someone to buy some food for Tian. Then, he decided to let Tian stay with him in the hospital for the time being. He was so angry at Hu Xiqian that he lost his mind. I'm sorry, I don't have a mother. I only have an adoptive mother. If you're interested in that bitch, you can have her anytime. Hu Xiqian was so shameless and perverted that Shen Mingxi didn't know what to say. You guys, throw this kid out. I'm going to rest. After speaking, Hu Xiqian turned and went upstairs. A few of his bodyguards carried Shen Mingxi and threw him on the road outside the door. Some paparazzi took pictures of Shen Mingxi, who was in a mess. The next day. Chapter 29-26. When he realized this, Qin Chu broke out in a cold sweat for the first time. He regretted that he didn't observe the situation more carefully earlier. When he asked Pudding to check on Hu Mian's room, Pudding said that Hu Mian was sleeping. Hu Min's back was facing the door, which meant that Hu Min was sleeping on the left side. Qin Chu turned on the surveillance camera and found that Hu Mian was still sleeping on the left side. This was definitely abnormal. Although it was only a small detail, Qin Chu knew that it was a big deal. Hu Min was a medical student and cared a lot about his health. It was the most basic knowledge of medicine. Sleeping on the left side was not a healthy position because most people's hearts were on the left side. Sleeping on the left side would put pressure on the heart, therefore, Hu Min spent most of his time lying on his back or on the right side. Even if he changed his position and slept on the left side, it wouldn't last long. However, it had been a long time since he called Pudding, but the person on the bed was still in the same position. This could only mean two things. First, she wasn't Hu Min. Second, she was hiding her identity by turning her back to the door. She didn't want her family to find out, and she also turned her back to the surveillance camera so that Qin Chu wouldn't find out. 10 seconds later, Qin Chu jumped up, kicked open the office door, and ran out. President Qin, where are you going? Yang was also worried when he saw how panicked the president was. After all, he had been working for the president for so long and had never seen him so anxious. Qin Chu didn't have time to go to the underground parking lot. He drove a domestic Volkswagen that belonged to an unknown employee and sped all the way. It was rush hour and he was stuck in a traffic jam. Qin Chu honked furiously and called Hu Min, but he still didn't pick up. At this time, he didn't dare to call home and ask them to go to the master bedroom. He was unsure of the identity of the person who had impersonated Hu Min. If it was an assassin sent by Hu Xiqian, then wouldn't his family be in danger? On the other side, Qin Chu told Su Yu to go to South Hill Manor to pick him up after dark. However, Su Yu could not wait for the sky to turn dark. If Qin Chu really wanted to deal with Hu Xiqian tonight, he would not be able to do it. In that case, South Hill Manor would definitely be very dangerous. Therefore, he and drove a limited edition Rolls-Royce to pick up the children and Hwamin. South Hill Manor. The nanny opened the door for Suyu. When he walked in, the twins, who were playing in the living room, jumped up happily. Wow! It's handsome Sue. Little Bean's eyes widened. Handsome Sue, why are you here? Pudding asked calmly. I'm here to bring you guys to my house. Where's your mommy? Mommy is sleeping upstairs, Little Bean said. What kind of sleep is she sleeping? What time is it? Chapter 29-27. Mommy, wake up. Pudding knocked on the door. But she didn't get a response. Mommy, wake up. Uncle Sue is here. I think he wants to talk to you. Pudding raised her voice. But she still didn't get a response. Pudding thought it was strange and slowly opened the door. She saw her mommy sleeping in the same position. Mommy. Pudding tried to raise her voice. At this time, even those who were asleep would be woken up by the noise. But Hwamin still didn't respond. Pudding was anxious. She rushed over and shook Hwamin's body. Mommy, what's wrong with you? As soon as Pudding finished speaking, the woman on the bed got up and grabbed Pudding by the neck. Pudding couldn't breathe and felt uncomfortable. Little bastard, we meet again. Zhang Manlin smiled viciously. Why, is it you? Pudding didn't expect the person on the bed at home to be the bitch Zhang Manlin. How could you have thought of that? Hua Xiqian's plan was perfect. He tricked everyone by swapping out the real person. You, let go of me. Let go of you. Is that possible? I'm counting on you to leave South Hill Manor safely. Zhang Manlin smiled viciously. My mommy, where is she? Pudding realized that her mommy might have disappeared a long time ago. When her daddy called, she might have seen Zhang Manlin. Your mommy is done for this time. You'll never see her again. What did you do to her? You evil woman. Pudding glared at Zhang Manlin, wanting to eat her up. I can't decide whether your mommy lives or dies. You'll have to ask Hua Xiqian. Bitch, I'll kill you. Pudding suddenly struggled with all her strength and reached out to grab Zhang Manlin's neck. Zhang Manlin didn't expect the kid to be this strong. Her neck was scratched and bled. She shoved Pudding to the ground, knocking the porcelain vase off the table behind her. The vase fell to the ground and shattered into pieces with a loud crack. Suyu was playing with Little Bean downstairs. Hearing that something was wrong, he immediately rushed upstairs. This was the scene he saw when he came up. Zhang Manlin held a sharp dagger against Pudding's neck. She grabbed Pudding by the collar as if she was grabbing a chick, showing no mercy. Zhang Manlin. Why are you here? Suyu asked in surprise. Handsome Sue, she works for Hua Xiqian. She replaced Mommy with Hua Xiqian. Mommy is in Hua Xiqian's hands now. Hurry and tell Daddy to save her. Pudding's logical thinking was very clear. Even at such a critical moment, she was still able to concisely and completely narrate the whole thing. After hearing what she said, Suyu's expression changed drastically. Zhang Manlin, where's Hwamin? Suyu clenched his fists. He wanted to tear Zhang Manlin into pieces to vent his anger. How would I know? She was taken away by Hua Xiqian a few hours ago. I'm just following Hua Xiqian's orders and pretending to be Hwamin. What did you say? Suyu's expression became more and more unsightly. A few hours ago, she was already in Hua Xiqian's hands. Didn't that mean? He didn't dare to think further. Handsome Sue, kill this woman. Don't let her walk out of here alive. Don't worry about me. Pudding looked at Sue calmly and said word by word, "You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.